Hello, 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 hello. Mwah. One more hello to you, my beautiful people out there in YouTube land. How are you on this wonderfully blessed Wednesday afternoon? It is Wednesday, July 8th, 2020, and you are watching Omega News with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Welcome, a special welcome to my first time visitors. Thank you for tuning in. I know you could have been otherwise, but you have chosen to spend this afternoon with me for an hour, and I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, remember the drill. Share the link with your friends and family. Invite them to come and watch Omega Live because you know I have information to give to you, right? Absolutely. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and so I am here to give you information, my fellow students of knowledge, so we can make informed decisions, right? Absolutely, absolutely, guys. Thank you. Thank you for my new subscribers. Thank you for my old subscribers. Thank you for all my subscribers. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel because if the feed falls, then you know that you will be automatically logged back in when I am back live and hit that notification bell so that YouTube can notify you that I am live. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, guys. So if it's your first time, let me tell you what the procedure is. I give you the news, tell you what's happening, what is current, what is right. It's ultimate news. That means when you hear it here, that's the latest on that story. Yeah. Yeah, because you know, I scour the web, guys. I am a researcher. I love to research. Absolutely. And so I research and I find it. If it is on the internet any at all, guys, I will find it for you. Absolutely. And so what I do, I research and then I give you the latest on the news and then I give you my 2 cents. Guys, you understand that I only have 1 hour, so I can't give you every single thing because a lot is happening around the world, right? But I try to give you as much information as I possibly can. And sometimes I have to carry forward to the next day, right? And some stories are very urgent, so I have to give you that here and now, while some can wait a day or two, so you'll get it not as fresh or evergreen, as they say, right? However, it will be relevant and it will be basically the latest on that particular story, right? Of course, guys. So you know the drill. We are still in a COVID-19 pandemic. And if you think we're not in a pandemic, wait until we get to the international news. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Yes, guys. So as we are in a COVID pandemic, I give you the COVID-19 information first, right? Unless, of course, something more urgent is there happening, which at this moment, as far as I can see, that there is nothing. We'll get to the zone of operations. My next story, absolutely. Prime Minister held a press conference this morning. I listened. I have information for you. Yes. So let me start with my COVID-19. Jamaica now has 745 confirmed cases of coronavirus disease COVID-19, according to a press release issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The 8 new cases consist of 5 males and 3 females, with ages ranging from 20 to 50 years. All are imported or contacts of imported cases. 2 persons at address in St. Catherine, 2 in St. James, 1 is from Westmoreland and 1 from St. Anne. The 2 contacts of the confirmed case, one is from St. James and the other is from St. Catherine. In that same 24-hour period, there have also been 8 recoveries, bringing to 599 the total number of persons who have recovered from the COVID-19 disease. So you see, guys, it's not a death sentence regardless of the fact that persons are dying. We are aware of that. But you also see that there are more recovery than there are persons who are dying. And we know the reasons many of them are dying. And, guys, I also think that basically, and of course, I give you my 2 cents. So don't take it as gospel, what I say. As I tell you all the time, guys, you always have to check, right? Do fact checking of information given to you, even from me, because there's so much misinformation out there, right? And so I try to give you accurate information to the best of my knowledge, but I also give you my opinion. When it's my opinion, because I tell you it's my 2 cents, right? And when it's facts as I know it, I give you those also, right? And so, as I said to you before, and usually you discover that whenever I say things, as it's my opinion, you notice you go back and you hear them in the news, right? So I'm like, okay, so these people are actually watching my program and listening to me, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so as I was saying to you concerning the cases and the recoveries, I don't think some of the cases are being reported, right? Some of the cases are not being reported, and it's my opinion. There are some cases that are not reported, and so the numbers are not accurate. We have heard the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Jacqueline Biseso Mackenzie, have come forward and admitted that all cases are not reported because there are persons who have the virus, the disease, and they have not reported it. And if they don't report it, then the ministry can't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we already know that, right? And we also know that in terms of the recovery, the numbers of persons who are recovering, like I said, there are much more persons who are recovering than those persons who actually have the disease. But we also know that some of the cases that have been reported as people dying from COVID-19, it is not COVID-19 that they are dying from. You understand? It is not. And it's only after an autopsy is done that it is discovered that this person died from a heart attack, for example, or renal failure, for example, or some other condition, right? And then they attribute it to the COVID-19. So those numbers become inflated. Yeah. Okay. So bear that in mind, guys, when you're hearing the news and or take it with a grain of salt and understand that those are some of the factors and those are facts that even though I'm saying it, it has been proven or been spoken of by scientists in the arena, global arena. You can Google that and you'll find many doctors out there who are saying that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so continue with my numbers, my big data people. Yeah. So the total to date, total number of samples, 27,142 persons have been sampled to date, with 26,337 coming back negative, and as I said, 745 are positive. They did 364 samples in that past 24 hour, right? Monday into Tuesday, right? And so, because remember, we get the information every 24 hours, right? And this information actually came in last night, up to 5 p.m. It was not in. It actually came in last night. This information given. So as of last night, this information is accurate. Tomorrow, I'll have new information for you, right? And so we have 60 samples that are pending, and actually about those pending samples, guys, we've got to watch those pending samples. So we got 8 confirmed cases out of the last samples, and now we have another 60 samples. Tomorrow I'll have more information for you concerning that. Of course, as of right now, because of those imported cases, guys, all the cases are imported, or import related cases, which I tell you how that works. So you come into the country and you're so happy to see your family member and you're hugging and kissing and doing all manner of things. You should be practicing physical distancing and not doing it. And as a result of which you have infected your family member. Mm-hmm. And so that's what is happening here. Right. And so we have to date 227 imported cases and 236 contacts of confirmed cases, right? So these are contacts of 236 guys they did not get the direct COVID-19 from an index. They got it from their family member, their own family member. That's where they got it from. Guys, you got to be careful. If you love your family member, you got to think about their well-being, their health and well-being. Okay, right? And I understand this, guys. I understand that some of you are asymptomatic, meaning that you have no symptom, right? Which was my clue why I knew that this virus was basically airborne until they came forward and said it, yeah? Because if you're not showing any symptoms, that means you're not sneezing, you're not coughing. So how are the droplets getting out there to be passed on? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So you got to still wear your mask to cover that portal of exit so that the virus does not transmit to your family member. And the family member must also wear their mask so that the portal of entry, there is no portal for the virus to enter the body. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So continue with the big numbers. So we have 419 females and 326 males in the 745 cohort, right? 8 persons are in government quarantine. 106 persons are in isolation, including home isolation. That means that they all have the disease, COVID-19, right? Again, I cannot understand the difference between the isolation cases and the active cases, because the active cases mean that you have the virus, right? 121 cases are active. These are all persons who have the COVID-19, and only 106 are in isolation. I do not understand the difference, why there's a difference between those who are in isolation and those who have the disease and are not in isolation. Yeah, I can't answer that question, guys. Hopefully we'll get the answer one of these days. I normally tweet to the Minister of Health and get that information for you, because I tweet to him and sometimes he answers me. He has even retweeted me, but apparently the minister was upset with my recent questions to him, and so he blocked me. So now I can't have access to the minister's tweets. So whenever he tweets now, I don't know anything about health. I can't tell you. I can only tell you what is in the public domain. Nothing from the horse's mouth in this case, guys. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, I was informed by an attorney who is always on Twitter that what he did is not illegal, but it is poor government governance, poor governance by the government to have a public account and a Twitter account and then block a constituent. Yeah, never a dull moment around there, guys. Never a dull moment. Anyways, it goes to show that they are paying attention to me. Anyway, so that's good news, right? That means they're hearing. So whether they believe it, accept it, or do whatever they want to do with the information, they're getting the information. And that's what's important. What you do with it, guys, is up to you. I will hope you put it to good use. But when I give you information, right, that's all I can do. I can only give you the information. The rest is up to you to make your informed decision with that. Yeah, absolutely. So continuing a little bit more data for you. Of course, we have still 236 persons from the workplace cluster Alarica. We do not expect that number to ever go up again, right? It's been past the time of incubation and all that good stuff. So we should not have anybody who is a member of, from Alarica to basically be infected with COVID-19 at this point in time. So I think we could safely say of that 700 and odd employees at that call center, only 236 had, which is a lot still, but 236 had the COVID-19 or have or had. Yeah. And then we have 39 local transmissions, 7 that are under investigation because they're not still sure. And I understand. You see how long these 7 have been under investigation, guys? What's going on with that investigation? Isn't it time we know something about the investigation? For months now, it's months now that 7 persons have been under investigation as to how they got the COVID-19. And they still can't figure it out up to now. Anyways, okay, we now have 6,906 persons who are in government, sorry, not government, in home quarantine. These are persons who are geo-fenced and or bracelet. You're wearing a bracelet because the government say must stand in your yard because you came back into the island and you have you under a 14-day quarantine. Absolutely. All right, guys. So those are my numbers for my big data people to use it as you see fit. Yeah, absolutely. Continue with the news, guys. So in a press briefing this morning, Wednesday, July 8th, 2020, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, announced a zone of special operations, ZOSO, for the Augustown community. You know, the Augustown community have been in the news for a while now, right? Because of what's happening over there. We had a woman with a disability who got injured by the forces, the armed forces. We had a soldier who was wounded by gunmen. We have all manner of stuff happening in Augustown, which is so close. Interesting, it is so close to you. You see, if anybody know the Augustown area, you realize Augustown, the area. A matter of fact, you could almost say, UA is in Mona, but this like border where Augustown actually starts and where UA is, it's almost like the border, so to speak, Mona and Augustown. That's how close they are, guys, right? And with a tertiary institution, right? A hospital, a teaching hospital, the police station all on Augustown Road, right? And other prominent businesses in the area. UTEC is also it's on Old Hope Road, but Old Hope Road Old Hope Road ends at the police at the gas station, right, which actually starts Augustown area. Yeah, so that's all of these prominent institutions, guys, in that community or adjoining community. and we have such crime and violence in this community, right? It's an indictment, you know. It's an indictment. But anyways, that's not my story today. Let me give them a story. Let me give you the story as I got it this morning. So, yes, according to the Prime Minister, the community has been designated a hotspot, right? And an area that requires intervention. So, and this guys is Twitter news, you know, because this don't reach the Gleaner's hard copy yet. Remember that this is hot off the press this morning, so we give it from Twitter. Twitter, don't not Twitter. No, Twitter is an official media outlet. I hope you know that. Yeah. So when I get it from Twitter, get it straight from the horse's mouth. The most authentic news you can find on Twitter. Yes, guys. So it says the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has declared a zone of special operation in Augustown, St. Andrew, to restore public order and sustainable peace. He says crime has been affecting the community and other areas. Quote, the community is being robbed of its true potential, end quote. According to Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, he says that there are 7 active criminal gangs operating in Augustown. 7 in one community, right? A community that is only 4.7 kilometers square. Or they say square kilometers. Yeah. England, America, you know, you pick one. He says, since the start of the year, this year 2020, there have been 7 murders and 14 shooting incidents in Augustown. Yeah. So that's more than one a day. No. I mean, I was going to say more than one a month. Yeah. Yeah. Quote, and is reassuring the community that the zone of special operations is one of several tools within our policing strategy that would provide the security framework for the control of violence within the space. He added that it will also allow for the progression of cases under investigation and facilitate the necessary multi-agency social intervention required to create sustained peace. And I think it's also referring specifically to that institution, JSIF, right? Yes, the Jamaica Social Intervention Fund, or no, Social Investment Fund. Sorry, they invest a lot in communities, right, to help with social intervention. They do social intervention to help with the community in terms of helping the youths to have employment, to have something to do, because they say the devil find work for idle hands, right? So this institution is actually very instrumental in many of the youth programs you see in communities. They have to fund them. Absolutely. And according to Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Rocky Mead, that the situation in Augustown is another element of the long-term plan to change the culture of violence in Jamaica. Yeah, guys. So I must add this little piece to it, though, and tell you that up until yesterday, as at yesterday, I know the number has changed for today. I haven't gotten today's number, but as of yesterday's number, right, there were 15 persons, right? 15 persons were killed in areas, some of them from areas that were classified as states of emergency, right? And I'm going to actually give you that detail of that one, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, right? So let me tell you what I'm talking about. So the areas include Montego Bay and St. Catherine, but I want to give you some details on that. Sorry for the delay. Okay, here. So details of that, and these are in areas of state of emergency. These are areas where the state of emergency has been declared. Right? We have one Upper King Street, that's in Montego Bay, St. James, which is under a state of emergency. They have a murder. One Goldsmith Villas in Augustown. Well, now it's under ZOSO. Right? One on Urlock Main Road in Montego Bay, which is under state of emergency. One on Damhead in St. Catherine, state of emergency. One in Exeter, St. Elizabeth. one on Eastwood Park Road in the vicinity of the transport center, which you did not hear. Remember I told you about that robbery and shooting, guys? One person actually died. You did not even hear it on the news. You understand? But one person died. They blocked off areas near the transport center. I gave you that information. I told you I'd have more for you. I didn't get more for you because they didn't announce. They did not announce it. This is from the Jamaican Constabulary Force. You see, never met the news. So I tell you guys about lack of information or misinformation. That's what happens with us. There was one also on Vineyard District, St. Elizabeth, right? Those are murders. And then you have, of course, shootings in Mobay, in Hayes, Clarendon, Alexander Road, and Penwood Road in Kingston, Portland. Two shooting incidents in Portland. Nobody died from that incident. Right? And one Discovery Bay. You see, that is what is happening, guys, in our country under these state of emergencies and zones of special operations, ZOSO, right? How effective are these instruments at this point in time? I will leave you to formulate your own opinion with regard to that, right? All I do, guys, I give you the news and then you make your 2 cents. So continuing as we're on the subject of, since I'm just going to keep the trend, we're talking about the police and the JCF and the JDF, so and robbery and all that kind of stuff, and crime. So on the subject of crime, let me continue with the crime stories. So 19-year-old Jodine Williams of Salt Pond Gardens in St. Catherine was slapped with charges of obtaining money by false pretense and conspiracy to defraud after she pretended to be a state representative and distributor of lace front wigs. Reports are that Williams lured a woman to believe she sold lace front wigs after advertising the sale of wigs on the internet. The woman deposited $20,000 to Williams' account for the purchase of the wig, guys. $20,000 for lace front wig. The woman deposited in the account. Should we feel sorry for her? Anyways, continuing the story. The unsuspecting customer became suspicious. Oh, God, stop. 1 second there, guys. Lord, with this phone. Okay, here we go. So the unsuspecting customer became suspicious when the product she ordered was not delivered and made a report to the police. An investigation was launched, which led to Williams' arrest on Monday. Her court date is not yet finalized. Yeah. And still on the subject of the JCF. So, as Jamaica considers reforms to the law that governs the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, Amnesty International sent an open letter to Prime Minister Andrew Holness urging the government to give the entity the power to charge and initiate prosecutions of officers over unlawful killings and other abuses of power. Because you know, in these states of emergencies and ZOSO, the SOEs and the ZOSO, sometimes these police they do act as though they are above the law. We do know that. You understand? While we welcome and we appreciate our security forces, we do expect them to behave, with certain decorum. And I'm going to get to that Tommy Lee story in a bit, but we don't reach there yet. So let me continue with the news. Right. So, quote, as the world experiences a collective moment of outrage and grief over the police killing of George Floyd and so many other Black people in the US, United States of America, the Jamaican government must take this opportunity to put an end to its own human rights violations by the police. Quote, Jamaican families, like all families, deserve the kind of transformational police reforms and access to justice that people around the world are clamoring for to tackle institutionalized discrimination and impunity, said Erica Guevara Rosas, American director at Amnesty International. Quote, excuse me, guys. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. Allergens, man. I have my allergic reaction to all kind of foreign bodies in the atmosphere. Quote, we call on Prime Minister Holness to seize this historic moment to demonstrate Jamaica's commitment to human rights and safeguard its progress in holding the police to account. The government must protect the independent commission of investigation, the independent commission of investigation powers to arrest, charge, and initiate prosecutions of officers, which have resulted in a halving of fatal killings by the police since 2014, she said. So since 2000 police, the numbers have been cut in half due to the presence of INDECOM. Amnesty International has reported on unlawful killings by police in Jamaica for more than 2 decades. The organization's 2016 report, Waiting in Vain, Unlawful Police Killings and Relatives' Long Struggle for Justice, detailed how Jamaican young men, especially those in marginalized and disenfranchised neighborhoods, have been scarred by unlawful killings by the police, while their relatives, particularly mothers and sisters, are left to face a long struggle for justice, as well as frequent intimidation and harassment by the police. The report also found that INDECOM has overhauled the country's system for police accountability for the better since it was established in 2010. Amnesty noted that the number of killings by police have from 258 in 2013, the year that INDECOM began to arrest and prosecute officers, to 115 in 2014, according to INDECOM figures. Last year, there were 86 fatal police shootings, the lowest total in almost 20 years. And I'll stop there. The story continues, but I have to give you just enough for you to put it in context for you so you can make informed decisions. Yeah. Excuse me. So, guys, you have heard the police, the president for the police federation calling that wanting INDECOM not to get the powers that they need to arrest, right? And you know my views on that already, right? I tell you, the question is, who monitors the monitor is what I'm asking, right? So of course we need institutions like INDECOM to actually step up and basically ensure that the police are acting within the law, right? That is what we are saying. All right, guys. So let me continue one more crime story before I move on. Talking about the police again. Yeah. So dancehall DJ. Sorry. Okay. So yesterday I gave you part of the story. So today I'm going to give you the balance of the story with the update since yesterday, right? So you have a full understanding why the police want Tommy Lee, why he is a person of interest. So let me tell you. So dancehall DJ Tommy Lee Sparta spent last night in the Freeport police station lockup in Montego Bay, St. James. His attorney, Ernest Smith, said the entertainer was detained under the current state of public emergency, the SOE, in that parish. Because as I said to you before, we're having an SOE in the parish, right? Of St. James. Absolutely. So, quote, he has been detained. He has been taken into custody for the purpose of interviews with CTOC, CTOC, the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, and OCID, that is the Organized Crime Investigation Division, and other agencies of the state. You see how many people want him for questioning? They have no charge against him. Listen, they have no charge against him. They want to question him. He has not been told anything of any offense that he has committed. This is the attorney speaking. He has not been told that he's inciting anything. He's just told that he has influence over a gang by the name of Sparta Gang. Well, Tommy Lee Sparta Gang, right? Okay. This is what the attorney told Jamaica Observer last night, yeah? Right. My client is not part of any Sparta gang, or any gang for that matter, he continued. Under the SOE, persons can be held for 90 days without being charged. In case you were wondering just now, how is it that he spent last night in jail and he has not been charged? That is why we are on the SOE guide. Listen to the story carefully, I give you the information so you can make informed decisions, guys. All right. So under the SOE, right, a person can be held for 3 months without being charged. Okay. Smith said he met with senior police officers and army men in Mobay who have rescheduled the question and answer session for today, Wednesday, July 8th, 2020. Quote, So I'll make myself available starting from 11 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, we're speaking last night, which is today, right? And to go on as long as it takes for Tommy Lee to resume his normal life. According to the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, that is the Jamaica Constabulary Force information arm, Tommy Lee Sparta was given until noon yesterday, and I reported that, to turn himself into the Freeport police station to answer questions about the upsurge in violence in the flanker community of St. James. Smith said he questioned the police's strategy in asking his client to come to the second city. Quote, what have they done? What they have done is very wrong. Asking him to come from a safe place where there's no state of emergency to a place where there is a state of emergency, and to use the emergency powers in existence in St. James to hold a man who does not live in St. James. He left St. James 12 years ago. That's what he told the Observer last night. He said the gothic dancehall entertainer was distraught about the development. Quote, he broke down in tears because he was very emotional that he has left Montego Bay for good and his name is still being called. He has been concentrating on his career, and what has bothered him the most now that his career has started to lift again. He said, if malicious person want to drag him down. It really broke my heart. It really broke his heart. It really broke his heart. I am confident, based on the instructions that he has given to me, that he is not involved in any form of wrongdoing. He is not directing any operation or any Sparta or any other gang. Let us see what comes out of these interviews, he said. So let me give you some background now. So this is the third time in 4 years that the entertainer has been listed as a person of interest. Reason being, in 2016, detectives in the Kingston Eastern Division listed Tommy Lee Sparta as a person of interest in relation to a shooting incident on Saunders Avenue in the Kingston 2 area of the corporate area. Kingston 2 section of the corporate area. The following year, this is 2017, the Freeport police station asked that he turn himself in for questioning in relation to a shooting in the flanker community during the Christmas holidays, and it was in the news. In March of 2020, you all know, the DJ's 60, that was one of my first news reports since I started to do Omega News and Omega Live on YouTube, right? That was in March, right? So in March of this year, the DJ's 6-year-old daughter was shot during an altercation among 3 men in Flanker. Here we go again. During the altercation, a 9-year-old boy was fatally shot in the incident. They didn't mention it in the story, but his daughter was also shot in that incident. Okay. Tommy Lee Sparta's given name is Leroy Russell. He hails from Flanco, the gritty St. James community, long plagued by crime and violence. Okay, and of course, for those who don't know, since they put it in the report, I'm going to tell you. So they said his popular songs include Spartan Soldier, Spartan Angel, Psycho, and Rich Badness. All right, guys. I mean, do I even need to give my 2 cents on this particular story? Is it even necessary, guys, to give a 2 cents on this? I think this one is self-explanatory, don't it? Well, guys, it's a developing, ongoing story. So as I get more, you will get more. This is the latest on the story, and you have it right here on Omega Live with JJ, Women Without Borders. Absolutely. And speaking of Women Without Borders, I have to get to my international news because I have some real interesting international news to give to you. But I have to give you the front page. I cannot finish the program without giving you the front page of the today's Gleaner, right? Right, it's headlines. Okay, so this is the headline, guys. So you see, all right. So that's the front page of today's Gleaner. You see, there are 3 stories. There are 3 stories that make up the headline of today's headline, but the big main headline says banking hiccup. Banking hiccup. Thousands with invalid accounts yet to receive COVID relief 2-month extension for some grants. So that story, guys, is in response to the story, or not the story, but in response to the finance minister's contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament yesterday. Right. So let me get to that, and then I will tell you the front page story, which is a response to what the minister said. So let me give you the minister's story first. So, all right. Oh, sorry. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. Okay, here we go. So, finance minister, and they say, I'm reading the story, guys. I would have said Minister of Finance and Public Service, the Honorable Dr. Nigel Clarke, but I'm reading. Okay, so Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke. Hey, thank you for my thumbs up. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the program. Yes, guys, keep those thumbs up coming. Keep those thumbs up coming. Thank you. Hi, Saloni. Thank you for watching. Everybody else who are watching, love you guys. Love you. So, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke has announced a 2-month extension for 2 elements of the government's COVID assistance program. Speaking in Parliament on Tuesday, which is yesterday, Clarke said the set cash and the best cash grants will be extended until August 2020. You know that those ended the 30th of June, or they were expected to have ended the 30th of June, but he extended them until August, and I'm presuming they didn't give a date, but I'm presuming it is August 31st, 2020. The best cash, as you know, is for those tourism employees, right? And the set cash are for workers who have been laid off because of COVID-19. Of course, there have been criteria, the stipulation as to how you can access these grants. So the extension program will benefit just under 50,000 workers who were earning up to $1.5 million a year. So you would have had to have been earning up to $1.5 million a year, right, to be entitled to this grant. Right? And so I give you the news initially. You can walk into my library, guys, go back and read for those persons who did not see my previous program, or if you're new to the program, I did a story on that, and I told you over 63,000 applications were received, right? And you knew that only approximately 11 to 12,000 persons actually accessed, or actually were approved and actually got the grants. And so here we say the minister said over 50,000, which is in line with what was said earlier. Over 50,000 workers basically will benefit from the fact that they have extended the application process until August. And I'm going to say August 31st. That's me saying it, guys, not him. I said it. All right. Dr. Clarke said the grants of $18,000 a month would help many people with loans and other obligations. This is supposed to be for 3 months. It was supposed to have been for 3 months up until June 30th. The fact that he has extended it to August, I'm presuming it's going to be for September, October, November. Yeah? All right. Or they're about 3 months thereafter. $18,000 per month. It should have added up to, I think, $54,000 they were supposed to get for the 3 months. Okay. He also said that with Jamaica now approaching 120 days since some businesses were forced to close because of COVID-19, there's the potential for employees to initiative redundancy request, and it should have been to initiate, not initiative, to initiate redundancy request. However, Clarke said the government does not want to precipitate this, and so the extension of the grant program while the economy recovers could be helpful. Okay, so in response now, this is why we have this front page article saying banking hiccup, because part of what the minister said in Parliament was that part of the problem was with the banking system. So let me get that story. So the opposition spokesperson on finance, Mark Golding, has asserted that the banking sector has fallen short in facilitating COVID-19 relief payments from the government, and it was reported yesterday that some beneficiaries face significant hurdles in accessing the benefit. Quote, the remittance companies, I think, have provided an easier channel than the bank accounts, and we do sympathize with the members of the team who have had to cope with the demands on their time and resources in dealing with the challenges of sorting out a range of issues with the bank accounts that persons have, Goldie said in his critique of the sector. Yesterday, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke informed Parliament that as of July 1st, some 396,311 applicants out of the 415,888 eligible applicants had received monies under the government's COVID allocation of resources for employees program, the CARE program. Clarke revealed that some 32,970 applicants were given the nod to receive benefits through the supporting employees with the transfer of cash, that is the set cash, but only 25,561 were paid the benefit because more than 7,000 had invalid bank accounts. Quote, the activity of dealing with invalid bank accounts has been extremely demanding on the project team's time and resources. I can't stress that enough. That's what Dr. Clarke had said in the House yesterday. The care team is encouraging them by messages to update their payment information. So these are persons who have already applied for the care program, because remember the care program is closed, guys. The only application right now that they're extending for the program are for persons who have a disability between the ages of 20 and 65. If you're between the age of 20 and 65 and you have a disability, right? And not only do you have to have a disability, but you have also got to register with the Jamaica Disability Office that is under the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. If you're not registered with them, you don't qualify, right? So to continue, right? So he's basically saying those persons who've already applied for the care program, those are the ones he is targeting at this point in time, right, with regard to that statement, right? That they must update their payment information so they can receive their payments. Okay. The set cash grant, on the other hand, he said it's for persons earning 1.5 million or less whose employment was terminated after March 10th as a result of the impact of the coronavirus on economic activity. And there are many persons who have not received any funds who fall in this category. The Tax Administration Jamaica has done a review of previous eligibility results and is in the process of ruling an additional 1,500 applications eligible for payment. Quote, the payment for the final month of June, as well as payment for the new eligible 1,500, will be paid by the week of the 20th of July. With respect to that final component, the minister had said yesterday in Parliament. As it relates to the Business Employee Support and Transfer of Cash grant, that is the Best Cash program, some 250 applications were received. These are the companies that we're talking about, right? Of which 142 were deemed eligible and will receive grants for retaining roughly 14,000 employees in total. Quote, about 68 of the applicants failed to be eligible by not having a tourism board license. So you're in the tourism industry and you don't have a license. 68 of them approximately, guys. And many of these applicants were entirely outside of the tourism industry. And you're operating in the tourism industry. Quote, there has been a delay in finalization of the best cash process due to several iterations of a processing validation audit with the Auditor General's Department, and this has caused a delay in payment, he explained, adding that instructions have been given to start making the payments. Okay. And I will stop there. Story continues, of course, but I think I gave you enough information, guys, for you to make your informed decision, because I have to get to international news, and I want to get to my international news because I have a two very interesting stories to give you guys. Yeah, so let me go to my international news, because the international news, guys, also tied into yesterday. Remember I told you I ran out of time yesterday, guys, because yesterday I was supposed to have given you a story that I was not able to give to you because I ran out of time. And so I'm going to give it to you today. However, I'm going to tie it into international news because it is relevant to us, even though it's an international story. Yeah. So let me give you this story. American universities, Harvard and MIT, asked a court this morning to block a U.S. government order revoking visas for foreign students whose entire courses have moved online because of the coronavirus. Universities launched the lawsuit against President Donald Trump's administration in a Massachusetts district court. Quote, we will pursue this case vigorously so that our international students and international students at institutions across the country can continue their studies without the threat of deportation, Harvard President Lawrence Bacow said in a statement. Right. That's the latest on that. Yesterday, on the front cover of the paper. Remember I told you yesterday, guys, just to remind you, recap, remember yesterday? So I gave you the top story, which was the main headline, but I told you about this other, just to remind you, recap, remember yesterday? So I gave you the top story, which was the main headline, but I told you about this other story, but I did not get to it. Right. So yesterday, on the front page of the Gleaner, as a sub-headline, it said, student deportation fears, referring to Jamaica we're talking about now. So, hundreds of Jamaican students who pursue tertiary studies in the United States could find themselves at risk of being deported if their universities switch to online-only courses, according to a statement from the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE yesterday. It was revealed that it may, and yesterday would have been referring to Monday, it was revealed that it may affect thousands of foreign students. The U.S. mainstream media have quoted ICE as saying that students who fall under certain visa categories may not take a full online course load and remain in the United States of America. So what they're saying, guys, is that just to stay in the country, you can't go ahead and say, okay, you're going to take a full course load, which is a requirement, right? When you will get given your F1 visa, yeah, okay. That are fully online for the fall semester, nor will U.S. Customs and Border Protection permit these students to enter the United States of America. Universities across the U.S. are beginning to transition to online courses as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Jamaican American immigration attorney Delia Walker Huntington told the Gleaner Monday that the measures will impact some student studies. Quote, some colleges and universities have not yet even figured out what they're doing for the fall as yet. Some will have to leave based on their schedules, and others will not be granted visas to study. According to the immigration specialist, quote, if they don't leave or enroll in another program, the government can begin removal proceedings against them. The Washington-based Student and Exchange Visitor Program, SCVP, announced modifications to temporary exemptions on non-immigrant students taking online classes owing to COVID-19 for the fall 2020 semester. I got to repeat that for you guys. I wanted to get a full understanding of what I'm saying here. Okay, let me go slower. Okay. SCVP, which is the Student and Exchange Visitor Program, that's the program under which students come to go to the United States of America to study. Okay, announced modifications to temporary exemptions or non-immigrant students taking online classes owing to COVID-19 for the fall 2020 semester. As a result of the pandemic, SCVP instituted a temporary exemption regarding online courses for the spring and summer semesters because we're in a pandemic. But you all are acting out as if COVID is no longer with us. So we are now in post-COVID. All right. So this, guys, my little 2 cents is one of the downside or the disadvantage of opening up the economy too soon. All right, continuing. As a result of the pandemic, the policy permitted non-immigrant students to take more online courses than normally permitted by federal regulation to maintain their non-immigrant status during the COVID-19 emergency. That's what the SCVP stated. ICE suggested that students currently enrolled in the U.S. consider other measures like transferring to schools with in-person instructions. There is an exception for universities using a hybrid model, such as a mix of online and in-person classes. Let me repeat that one again for you guys so you hear this clearly, because you're going to hear all manner of things out there in public domain, and I want you to have the information, right? There is an exception for universities using a hybrid model, such as a mix of online and in-person classes. Visa requirements for students have always been strict, and coming to the US to take online-only courses has been prohibited. These are not some fly-by-night universities. These are not scams. These are legit universities who would normally have in-person curricula, but for coronavirus. But for coronavirus. said Teresa Cardinal Brown, the Director of Immigration and Cross-Border Policy at the Bipartisan Policy Center in Washington, D.C. Quote, the bigger issue is some of these countries have travel restrictions on and they can't go home. So what do they do then? It's a conundrum for a lot of students, of which Jamaica should not have a problem, because Jamaica does not have travel restrictions where our students cannot come home. So my 2 cents, guys, I am failing to understand what this all conundrum is about. What's the hullabaloo about? Think about this seriously. If you are doing online classes only, guys, if all your classes are online, now why would you need to stay in the US? The internet, it's ubiquitous. It's all over the world. It's everywhere. That's why you have people who are digital nomads, because you can, as long as there's internet access, anywhere in the world you can go, you can actually. But I know part of the problem why some of our Jamaicans do not want to come back, because our poor do not want to come back, because our poor internet service and rather stay in the US doing time online studies. That is the main problem. I want to bet you. I'm not a betting person, but I'm saying, yeah. See, I made sure I give it to the story, guys, including Jamaicans. That's not what it is. That's what it is. Full-time studies, if you're not doing this, then you can't pay. You came on an F1 visa, issued a visa on that ground. When for your point, Jamaicans either. What there is, if the class, you don't need to be in the class, doing it in your factor. How for you, functions. So you are at a, it is applicable to person doing classes online. Jamaican students talking about, they want to come back home, or they're going to be worried about being deported. It's not really, the borders have been open for all Jamaicans to return home. Yeah. And so here it is, infrastructure. Yeah. That's what is lacking in Jamaica. We do not have everything we need right here in Jamaica. Am I wrong? Guys, knowledge, giving an example to show fringes. That's Jamaica. Keep us uneducated and uninformed. We think corruption is supposed to be the norm, and when we're supposed to amend the constitution, so put laws in place to state that corruption is a crime, like in some countries. You understand? We hear the nitpicking about, some people being exonerated by DPP, and because of the fact that it's not a criminal offense, they think it's okay, all is well. In the case of, for example, Dr. Andrew Wheatley and Miss Lisa Anno, yeah, the fact that it is not criminal, there is a moral a value attached to it, right? It's called integrity, or the lack thereof. So even though you might not be criminally liable, you're morally liable. You understand? Okay. One more last story for quick, guys. Let me give you two international stories. Two quick international stories. Let me give them to you before I end my program for today, right? So one of them has to do with, excuse me, Africa. I'm going all the way to Africa now, guys. Excuse me. Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, to be precise. Sad news. At least 239 people have been killed and 3,500 arrested in more than a week of unrest in Ethiopia that poses the biggest challenge yet to its Nobel Peace Prize winning Prime Minister. In the Oromia region, the toll includes 215 civilians along with 9 police officers and 5 militia members. Regional Police Commissioner Mustafa Kedir told the ruling party-affiliated Walter TV today, Wednesday. Officials earlier said 10 people were killed in the capital, Addis Ababa, 8 of them civilians, amid outrage after a popular singer was shot dead last Monday. That's what caused the whole thing to start. Ashalu Undesa had been a rallying voice in anti-government protests that led to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed taking power in 2018. Abiy swiftly introduced political reforms that also opened the way for long-held ethnic and other grievances in Africa's second most popular country. The military was deployed during the outrage that followed Asholu's death. And condolences and prayers to all the families of all those lives that were lost in Ethiopia. And guys, we continue to pray for our brothers and sisters over there in Africa. Because guys, you think you're going through anything, when you read stories, and see what's happening in the world, you realize you have a lot to be thankful for. You're not going through a thing in comparison to what other people are going through. Yeah. So to give you this other one, you gotta get this other one. Final story for the day. International news. Guess what? Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro said Tuesday he has tested positive for the new coronavirus after months of downplaying its severity while deaths mounted rapidly inside the country. The 65-year-old right-wing populist, who has been known to mingle in crowds without covering his face, confirmed the results while wearing a mask and speaking to reporters huddled close in front of him in the capital, Brasilia. He said he is taking hydroxychloroquine, that famous drug. He said he had been taking hydroxychloroquine, the anti-malaria drug that he, like President Donald Trump, has been promoting, even though it has not been proven effective against COVID-19. Well, guess what now, guys? We are now going to find out whether or not it is effective against COVID-19. And as something I go, as something I come. Quote, well, normal. I even want to take a walk around here, but I can't due to medical recommendations. I thought I had it before, given my very dynamic activity. I'm president and on the combat lines. I like to be in the middle of the people, he said. Brazil, the world's sixth biggest nation with more than 200 million people, is one of the outbreak's most lethal hotspots. More than 65,000 Brazilians have died from COVID-19 and over 1.5 million have been affected. Both numbers are the world's second highest totals, behind those of the US, though the true figures are believed to be higher because of a lack of widespread testing. On Tuesday alone, that is yesterday, 1,254 deaths were confirmed. Yes, guys. So we will know how effective that drug that has been promoted by US President. We will know how effective it is because that's what he is taking, he says, to treat the COVID-19. Okay. Of course, as I get it, you will get it. Absolutely. Yes, guys. So, oh my God, time can fly. How time flies. Did you enjoy the program, guys? Let me get the thumbs up. If you enjoy my program, let me get my thumbs up, man. Give me my thumbs up and comment, man. Comment, guys. Let me hear your views on what I have been saying. I hope I was able to give you information that will help you to make informed decisions. I thank you so very much for tuning in. Absolutely. I enjoyed my time with you and I am looking forward to doing it again tomorrow at midday, God willing. Yeah? Okay, guys, you know my spiel by now. Always, I will tell you that when you're going outside, especially now, you have to wear your mask, guys, because this thing is airborne. It has been finally, it has been said over 200 doctors are asking who to admit it. Who has still not admitted it? They said they have to do their own findings and they will let us know. And since they are God and they have the Bible to give us information, we'll wait for them to give us information and say, yes, okay, it is airborne. Oh boy. Meanwhile, of course, US is withdrawing from the organization. Yes, they are withdrawing from the World Health Organization. Yeah, something again coming, not going. That's why I didn't give that story today. More to come on that story. Yes. Okay, guys. So, as I said, Make sure that you also practice infection control measures, right? And practice your physical distancing, not social distancing, because you need to socialize with people. We are social beings and we must socialize. We must love on each other. Love is a verb, okay? Don't tell me you love me. Show me that you love me. Then I'll believe you. Huh? Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, remember those who are vulnerable, right? The young, very, very young, the elderly, those with disabilities, okay, guys? And oh, guys, cricket is on. Cricket is on. I don't know how to watch it. I'm going to have to do some research now to find out. I can't see it anywhere live where I wanted to watch it live. I'm going to have to do some research to see where I can watch it live on the internet. Somebody got to have it out there live on the internet, man. I'm going to research cricket, guys. Cricket, West Indies and England are playing in England right now as we speak. The match is on. Yes, the match was delayed, but it is now on. And so I am going to watch some cricket later if I can. Yes, cricket, lovely cricket. So, guys, I will have some more information concerning that for you tomorrow to let you know how well we West Indies did in the first day today. Yeah, I'll have that for you tomorrow also. So, again, like I said, until I see you tomorrow and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.